billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dear students, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Dear student, today we will read a poem which is in the English book of class 8th. The poem is titled as the Brook. This poem is written by Alfred Tennyson. First of all, we will read this poem. Then I will try to make you understand what Alfred Tennyson is writing in the poem. What is the summary of the poem? We will go through it later. But first, we will read the poem. I hope you might have your English book in front of you, and you will note the difficult words. So let us start. I come from haunts of coot and hern. I make a sudden sally and sparkle out among the fern to bicker down a valley. By 30 hills I hurry down, or slip between the ridges. By 20 tops a little town, and half a hundred bridges, till lost by Philip's farm I flow to join the brimming river. For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. I chatter over stony ways in little shops and trables. I babble into eddying bays, I babble on the pebbles. With many a cove my banks I fret, by many a field and follow, and many a fairy foreland set, with willow, weed and mallow. I chatter, chatter as I flow, to join the brimming river, for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. I went about and in and out, with here a blossom sailing, and here and there lusty trout, and here and there a grayling, and here and there a foamy flake upon me as I travel, with many a slavery water break above the golden gravel, and draw them all along and flow to join the brimming river. For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. I steal by lawns and grassy plots, I slide by hazel covers. I move the sweet forget-me-nots that grow for happy lovers. I slip, I slide, I gloom, I glance. Among my skimming swallows, I make the netted sunbeam dance. Against my sandy shallows, I murmur under moon and stars. In brambly widernesses, I linger by my shingly bars. I loiter round my cresses, and out again I curve and flow to join the brimming river. For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. So this is the poem. Let us study the summary of the poem, learn the summary of the poem. The Brook is a poem written by Alfred Lord Tennyson. In this poem, the brook plays the role of the narrator as it tells the reader about its journey. Here is the summary of the poem. The brook starts out from the dwelling place of birds such as the coot, a water bird, and the hern, archaic word for heron. It makes a sudden rush as it flows out, The presence of sunlight causes the brook's water to sparkle as it flows among the fern. It then continues its journey by flowing down a valley. While doing so, the sound of the flowing brook resembles that of people calling. Hence the phrase "bicker down a valley." The brook flows down along hills. Sometimes it also glides between long and narrow hill ranges called ridges. Thopas refer to small villages or hamlets between two small towns. The brook possesses several thopas and a large number of bridges. The numbers used in this line, such as 30, 20, half a hundred, should not be taken in the literal sense. These numbers are used to give the impression of several or many and to maintain the rhythm of the poem. Finally, the brook passes Philip's farm and flows into the overflowing river. The brook further states that men are transient. They come and go over time, but it outlives men and continues forever. The lines "for men may come and men may go, but I go on forever" are repeated several times in the entire poem. As the brook flows over stony paths, its water makes a chattering sound. This sound is high-pitched, hence the phrase "shoppers and travelers," both high-pitched notes in music. As water flows past an obstacle, a reverse motion is created and that leads to swirling. These are known as eddies. A lot of bubbles are also formed. As the brook flows over pebbles, the sound it makes is similar to that made while talking rapidly. Hence the phrase "babble on the pebbles." The brook does not flow in a straight line. It makes a lot of turns and etches out a path full of curves. Fret means fuss or worry. The brook forms so many curves that it seems as if it is constantly troubling its banks to change shape. The brook continues besides many fields as well as fallow lands. Fairy forelands refers to promontories. These are masses of land that overlook the brook. These are promontories are home to plants such as willow, weed, and mallow. The brook passes them on its journey. As the brook flows on its way to the overflowing river, it makes a continuous sound. The sound is like that of people talking. Hence the line "I chatter, chatter as I flow." The brook repeats that although men are transient and it goes on forever, the brook coils and twists on its way to the river. An occasional flower can be seen on its surface. The floating blossom appears to be sailing on the brook. The brook is also home to freshwater fish such as trout and grayling. The trout is a vigorous and energetic fish, hence Tennyson calls it lusty. Due to occasional turbulent flow, flakes of foam are produced which float on the flowing brook. Water breaks or breaks on the brook's surface caused by unevenness of its bed. These water breaks reflect the sun that makes them appear silver. Gravel is usually a brownish yellow hue, hence the phrase "golden gravel." The brook draws along with it several floating objects as it flows towards the river. Here the poem's refrain is repeated. The brook flows by grassy stretches. It passes by land covered with hazel type of shrub. Forget-me-nots are low-growing plants with bright blue flowers. They often grow on the banks of streams, sometimes even touching the water surface. Forget-me-not flowers are often a sign of faithfulness and enduring love. Hence, they are often associated with lovers. As the brook flows, it gently moves the flowers that touch the water. The brook uses the words slip, slide, gloom, glance to describe its movements. Swallows often hunt for insects on the water surface. They skim the water surface to capture the insects. The brook glides among these skimming swallows. The brook is constantly moving. It also carries with it numerous fish, floating blossoms, etc. Swallows often fly over it. Hence, the sunlight that falls on the bed of the brook appears like a net instead of a continuous entity. Sandy shallows refer to the shallow part of the brook that contains a lot of deposited sand and silt. As the brook moves, the netted sunbeam falling on the shallow bed appears to dance. Wilderness refers to a wild and uninhabited region. Brambles are often found in such places. Hence, Tennyson refers to such regions as brambly wildernesses. In quiet nights, as the brook passes over numerous pebbles and uneven land, it makes a certain sound. In the silent wilderness, such sounds can be clearly heard. The sound reminds one of the murmuring. It is as if the brook is talking to itself. Shingles are accumulated masses of small pebbles. Elevated regions in a brook made of such an accumulated mass deposited by flow are referred as shingly bars. Shingles are usually found in the lowest moving part of a brook. Hence, the brook says that it lingers by such places. Cresses in this case refer to watercress that often grows on the edges of brooks. As the brook passes these tufts of watercress, its water seems to coalesce among the plants. Hence, Tennyson uses the word loiter. The brook leaves the wilderness, the shingly bars, and the watercress behind and flows in graceful curves towards the river. It ends with the refrain that although the human life is transient means temporary, the flow of the brook is perpetual. So this is the poem. It is summary, and I hope you might have understood the meaning of the difficult words and also understand the theme of the poem, the summary or the central idea of the poem. So this was all about this poem. So from here I will take a leave from you, and inshallah I will be with you tomorrow with a new class. Till then, take care. Goodbye.